but I thought that motion 1 was moved. It was when it was being seconded that the Honorable Osahini decided to debate ahead of the debate. So, Mr. Speaker, to do things appropriately, the procedural motion 1, should be moved before we go to the substantive motion.
Thank you.
I'm not inviting you to speak, Mr. Minority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Minority Leader, as he then was. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, currently, Mr. Speaker, he's in government. He's in government. Mr. Speaker, he said I went ahead of myself on something. It wasn't clear. I raised a procedural issue. That should be part of the records. Yes. I don't want to be misconstrued. This is a house of record. And once you begin to question my intervention, and I'm here, I need to put it right. We set the record straight. Yes.
So, honorable members, this is the procedural motion, so I'll put the question. As many as are in favor of the procedural motion, say aye. Aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. So, we will now turn to item listed 2 on page 2. Motion. Chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that motion number 2 on today's order paper addendum be taken now. But Mr. Speaker, in so doing, I would like to present the committee's report. I would highlight key issues in the report and request that the Hansa Department capture the entire report as though same has been read in the House. Mr. Speaker, the credit facility agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Minister of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $300 million United States dollars to finance the secondary education transformation for access, relevance and results for jobs project was presented to this House on the 16th of July 2026 in accordance with Article 1812 of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the committee met with the Ministry of Finance, which was led by the Deputy Minister for Finance and the technical team from both the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Education, who assisted your committee to deliberate and consider those reports. Mr. Speaker, it is important to indicate that there is no loan agreement before this House to finance free SHS. Mr. Speaker, what we are considering is a loan agreement that is meant to improve access to free secondary education, to ensure that we eliminate the double track, provide more opportunities for grade C schools to be upgraded to grade B, and for grade B to be upgraded to grade A. Mr. Speaker, that is the loan that we are considering at this point in time. Mr. Speaker, the loan agreement, as we have seen it, is targeted at strengthening a number of pillars within the educational system in order to enhance access and improve the relevance of secondary education. An amount of 527.7 million of this amount has been allocated to Component 1, which focuses on increasing equitable access to secondary education. Mr. Speaker, this is the bulk of the money that is being procured to support education in Ghana. Component 2, which is improving the quality and relevance of secondary education, has been allocated 33.8 million United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, strengthening Component 3 strengthens systems, communication, and evidence-based decision-making. And Mr. Speaker, 8.5 million has been allocated for this purpose. But Mr. Speaker, the government of Ghana will be providing a $23 million counterpart funding to fully implement this project. Mr. Speaker,
the component 1 amount. You got it.
the component 1 amount, Minister has just alerted me. The component 1 Yeah, five is 257 instead. The Speaker, 257.7 million. I think I mentioned 5. Yeah, okay. It's 257. Mr. Speaker, your committee, having deliberated on this loan and taking the guidance of the technical team, came to the conclusion that this loan agreement will enhance access and the relevance of secondary education, and have therefore unanimously recommended to this House to adopt the report of the committee and to approve the loan facility for the ministry to go ahead with the implementation. As so, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes. Second, yes, Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the report as submitted by the chairman of the committee actually came to your committee, and the committee deliberated extensively on the proposed facility by IDA through the World Bank. Mr. Speaker, the tenor of this facility was discussed, and the committee took cognizance of certain issues. Whilst we discuss and consider this particular report, Mr. Speaker, I need to bring some of those to your attention. Mr. Speaker, this is a facility that we intend to contract with the World Bank an amount of 300 million United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, the interest on this particular loan facility, as we speak today, is still at large. Mr. Speaker, I say we're still at large because we are only told that there is 1.5% interest, and there is what we call adjustment of the interest charge, basis adjustment of the interest charge, which is at large. So we do not know, when we do not have the full handle of how much we are committing this country into if we are approving this. And this was a major issue that we raised, that the lack of firm handle on the loan and the broad contours of this particular loan was a very important issue. Mr. Speaker, there was also a concern about the counterpart funding, especially so with the revenue slippages of government, which is contingent and important, especially so with the information that the Minister of Education is hemorrhaging in the past 1.5 years, especially regarding allocation and disbursement of funds to the same ministry. We were concerned about the 31 million United States dollars counterpart funding that the ministry is supposed to, bring on board to support the implementation. Mr. Speaker, the last but one issue is the conditions for the disbursements of this particular facility. Mr. Speaker, your report captures this very clearly, that the committee noted that disbursement of the portion of the finances is linked to the achievement of specific performance-based conditions. Mr. Speaker, government is required to prepare and adopt a project implementation manual before the agreement becomes effective. Government is required to establish appropriate project oversight and technical implementation committee. Mr. Speaker, I wish to report that the Minister responsible for education has given the committee his firmest assurance that this was something that would be done. And we took comfort in that particular assurance from the Minister responsible for education that on his part, this will be done. Mr. Speaker, but the key question that we needed to ask is, why would government have to borrow in order to finance the free senior high schools. The chairman of the committee says that we are not borrowing to finance free senior high school. Mr. Speaker, we are borrowing to finance free senior high school. And I say this based on the objective of this particular project. There are three major components of this particular facility. The first component is increase equitable access to to secondary school education. That's the first component. The second component is to improve quality and relevance of secondary school education. And the last component is about system and information management. These are the legs of the free senior high school education. It is not different from the current implementation structure of the free senior high school. So let's not embellish it as if to say that we are not borrowing to finance the free senior high school. Mr. Speaker, the clarity of that particular statement as contained by, in that particular three-component program is that we want money in order to sustain the free senior high school. Mr. Speaker, one important thing I need to commend the minister responsible for education. In his presentation, he highlighted the importance of free senior high school and the data supporting it. And if you look at the staggering data, Mr. Speaker, there's no reason why we should not support such an initiative that the Minister of Education is undertaking to support the implementation of the free senior high school education. Every member of this particular side, with the grace of God, has to support it, because we now know that the vision of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was a vision into generation, and that particular vision has to be supported by everyone. And I'm happy that even in his presentation, he did not do politics with the data. And it is something that I will let Mr. Speaker, for you to also put on record that the minister responsible for education was very factual with the data. He presented the data and even gave us specific schools of the data. You see that there's a quadruple of the data. There's a quadruple of student enrollment data. In some cases, there's the doubling of that particular data. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I will want to, second the motion that the committee adopts the report of the committee of finance that an amount of 300 million United States dollars plus an additional contingent funding of 31 million, bringing the total cost of the STAR project to $331 million for the purpose of financing the free senior high education. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, the motion has been moved and has been seconded. It is now before the House for consideration. Minister, can't you wait so that you give the last persons to it? So let me give the opportunity to Chairman of the Education Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the report presented by the committee. Mr. Speaker, before I go on, let me say that many a time or previously, whenever such agreements were presented, the sector committee was informed so that at least the leadership of the committee could attend the meeting of the finance committee so that we can also make some contributions. So I just want to remind the House of that. Then let me also say, Mr. Speaker, that the agreement or the facility is not to end free senior high school or double track, but rather to improve upon secondary education in the country. And by improving on secondary education in the country, the free SHS will be taken care of. So if you look at the table that was presented, you will realize that the emphasis is on upgrading some of the category B, category C schools to A or B respectively. So I want us to take it from that angle and to disabuse the minds of people that government has gone for a credit facility to end double track. I think we need to get that one very clearly, because it is for improvement. Although it is a report, I think it is for the improvement of secondary education in the country. That is what I believe the facility is about. Mr. Speaker, I don't know, you are not getting me right. I am saying that let's describe the facility as for secondary education improvement. Do you say it? So by improving on secondary education, you are ending the double track. That is what I want us to understand. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the distribution of the facilities, I want to commend the Minister for Education for making sure that disadvantaged schools are equally catered for. And that is what we want to be done going forward. So, Mr. Speaker, I only urge the House to approve this facility so that we can see a bigger leap in the development of secondary education in the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me go to Honorable Member for Tanonoff.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the debate on the report that is laid. Mr. Speaker, we are looking at a loan facility to support education in Ghana. And if you look at the committee's report, page 2, the project that is going to be supported with this facility has 4 main components. We are looking at increasing equitable access to secondary education, improving the quality and relevance of secondary education, strengthening secondary education systems, and providing a contingency emergency response component to enable rapid response to eligible emergencies. Mr. Speaker, these components are so germane to education in this country. For that matter, if Ghana was to finance access to secondary education, I least expected that we would resort to loan to do such financing. When we have such an important investment to make, the first thing that government should have considered is the best way to finance such a project without having to incur the risk of paying interest in the future and all of you that. Mr. Speaker, but if you look at what is happening, we just exited the IMF program. And for less than a year, we have begun to see government resort to the debt market to finance critical investment in this country. Why is it happening so? It is happening so because the finance ministry and the managers of the finances of this country are doing virtually nothing, little to nothing, to ensure that we are able to raise the needed revenue to finance such critical investment in the country. And that is why we are resorting to borrow. Mr. Speaker, if any Ghanaian young lady or young man is listening to us today, and we are telling them that we do not prioritize education such that the revenues that we generate from this country are channeled into education, but rather we are going to borrow to finance secondary education, that is very, very sad and it's very bad. Mr. Speaker, all these are happening because if you look at the government fiscal data from last year to this year, there has been such huge revenue underperformance on the part of government, and that is why we are seeing what we are seeing today. Even if you just look at the fiscal data for Q1 2026 alone, VAT, we were below 6.5% of our target. For National Health Insurance levy, we fell by 29.9% of the target. For GET Fund, 29.9% of the target. For crude oil receipts, 37% of target. Exercises, 23%. Import duties, 14% of target. Mr. Speaker, when this happens, all that government will have to do is to cut expenditure. And when government cuts expenditure, or government is unable to use revenue to finance such critical expenditure, government will have to resort to borrowing. In Q1 alone for 2026, government revenue fell short by 4.5%. And by so doing, government had to reduce expenditure by 29%. In 2025 alone, government revenue fell short by 2.2%, government expenditure fell by 13%, and capital expenditure fell by 38.8%. We want to ask the finance minister, the deputy minister is here. What is government doing? Why are we not able to raise revenue to support education? But we have to go and borrow to finance free SHS. The free SHS that we know, the free SHS that was instigated by the erstwhile MPP administration did not resort to borrowing to finance free SHS. The Ghanaian people, the young people of this country want to see government prioritizing education. We want to see our government prioritizing free SHS. When we raise revenue in this country, Let us see the revenue going into education. We want to see our revenues, our taxes going into education and not borrowing. We are going to borrow at an interest rate and charges, some of which are at large. We can't even determine them today. They are indeterminate. Mr. Speaker, nobody knows how much this country is going to pay for the loan that we are going to take. Just few months after the IMF program. If it is starting today, what are we going to do in the future, tomorrow and the rest of the years, as far as education is concerned? Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I support the motion.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Fred.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the reports of the Finance Committee on this particular loan agreement. Mr. Speaker, let me first commend the Finance Ministry and the Minister for Education for coming together to design a program to address many of the challenges that we face in our educational space. Mr. Speaker, as a member of the Education Committee, last year during recess, I had the privilege of traveling along the chairman and many other members to some selected senior high schools. Mr. Speaker, even the schools that are regarded as grade A schools, many of them have infrastructure deficits. Mr. Speaker, all of us in this chamber can recall that a few years ago, parents had to march up at the Independence Square demanding the authorities to post the awards to specific schools. The only reason why we are all chasing particular schools for our awards and for our constituents is because we believe those schools are better equipped to offer quality education to our wards. Mr. Speaker, just yesterday, I heard the Minister of Education announce that on or before 31st July, BEC results will be out and the students will be made to go through placement. I can predict, Mr. Speaker, that after the release of the results, many parents and even we members of parliament will be chasing authorities in charge of placement to ensure that constituents and our wards are placed in particular schools. Why? Because we believe that infrastructure is critical to the provision of quality education. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, looking at the report before us, it is sad. Savannah region, not a single grade A school. Oti region, not a single grade A school. The whole northern region, only 4 grade A schools. Mr. Speaker, this facility is coming to ensure equitable distribution of infrastructure to all these schools across regions. And I want to plead, Mr. Speaker, that I have always believed that when it comes to issues of education, they are issues that we must not play partisan politics with, because it is at the core of our development. We need to provide these infrastructure projects across the country. We need to upgrade over 30 schools from grade B to grade A. We need to rehabilitate over 150 schools. We need to build 10 new schools, all from this facility, Mr. Speaker. I want to plead with both sides of the House that we must give our support to this particular facility so that the government can borrow, and within the next few years, Mr. Speaker, we will begin to see massive infrastructure projects and upgrade in our schools. What excites me, Mr. Speaker, about the facility is that when you look at the report, 86% of the money that the government is going for will be dedicated solely to infrastructure projects. And so this is not one of those facilities where close to 50% will be spent on workshops and on travels and what have you, but 86%, representing $257.7 million will be dedicated solely to the infrastructure project. Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with all members of the House that, having said this, we should all lend our support to the government in order to get this facility. Thank you.
Yes. Honorable Kojo Oponkroma.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make some comments as we support this motion. Mr. Speaker, I want to start with a quick French expression. Plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. To wit, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Mr. Speaker, on the 15th of May 2026, the NDC government issued a statement announcing to the country that we have exited the IMF extended credit facility. Today is just about 9 weeks after the IMF left town. And today, Mr. Speaker, I don't want us to consider this loan application in isolation. In fact, if you look at the 3 reports that we are about to approve, plus the budget, we are about to approve almost $1 billion. Yes? $300 million currently for education. The education minister is doing his best. About $500 million for the roads minister. About $22 million for the finance minister. And if you look at the net borrowing in this year's budget, about $180 million. So 9 weeks after the IMF left town, we are about to approve $1 billion for this government. Mr. Speaker, I don't have a challenge with the purposes they have stated. In my 3 terms in this parliament, I'm yet to see any loan facility that cannot be justified. So I'm not about to argue about the uses to which they want to put these resources. But Mr. Speaker, there's a reason for which 9 weeks after the IMF left, this government is asking us to approve almost $1 billion. It is because their domestic resource mobilization measures have failed. Mr. Speaker, in Committee Room 1 and 2, the Honorable Atuforsen promised this republic that they had a proper fiscal strategy, a better one, which was that they were going to remove taxes, not bring new taxes, and that they were going to grow revenue to 18% of GDP. I seconded the motion in this seat that day, and I said, if he will do that, we will all support him. Mr. Speaker, the outturn for 2025 shows that they have not been able to achieve 18% of GDP. In fact, in 2 different reports they've published, in one they say 15.7, in another one they say 16%. Meanwhile, they inherited 16% of GDP. It is because the domestic resource mobilization measures are not performing that 9 weeks after the IMF left town, they have gone back to the debt markets, and they are now asking us to approve close to about $1 billion for them. Mr. Speaker, the only caution I will give to them, I've been on the other side defending loans, and I'm on this side looking at it from another lens. So the only caution I'll give them is that, first of all, our debt sustainability is something they should pay attention to. At the beginning of every administration, like we said about a year ago, you start with stability. And then when your revenue measures are not performing, like we told them, you start borrowing. And it is when you don't pay attention that debt sustainability becomes a problem. Mr. Speaker, this government has made a choice that it will use the limited resources at its disposal for some other purposes. We were here when the Bank of Ghana reports, and by the way, Minister, you still haven't presented the 2025 account of the Bank of Ghana to Parliament. We were here when the Bank of Ghana accounts told us that they have chosen to spend about 16 billion cedis on sterilization. It's there in black and white. We were here when the Bank of Ghana report said that they have elected to spend about 9.6 billion Ghana cedis on gold losses. Mr. Speaker, anytime we raise those ones, they quickly shut us down. It is because they have elected to use the resources for those other purposes. And now you are finding what the IMF wants about, the quasi-fiscal expenses. Look from state-owned enterprise to state-owned enterprises. They are now embarking on quasi-fiscal expenses, spending the money on other things. One giving money to EPA, another giving money to other things. It is that reason for which at the Central Treasury, they can't find resources to pay for some of these priorities, and they've gone back to the debt markets. Mr. Mr. Speaker, we have only two recommendations, even as we support this motion before us. Number one, it is important that they get the revenue measures right. Because if you play games with the revenue measures and the revenues don't perform, this is what you will be left with doing, going back to the debt markets. And today we are here to approve about $1 billion. Number two, Mr. Speaker, they have to adopt a whole of government approach when they are prioritizing expenses. Because if you look at it in silos, you would approve different expenses for different things. But when you adopt a whole of government approach, you will better prioritize the expenses, and possibly we may have used resources from the Treasury to pay for these very important things and not resort to the debts that they are bringing before this House. Mr. Speaker, that said, we support the motion that they have put before the House. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to our colleagues, and the good thing is that they are all supporting the motion for us to be able to access this facility to improve on secondary education. Mr. Speaker, the statement has been made about the utilization, and I'm happy nobody is questioning the utilization of the loan proceeds. Because, Mr. Speaker, we have indicated that we are going to establish 10 new schools. And this is virgin schools that are going to be established. That school, each of these schools will have classroom blocks. Each of these schools will have dormitories for boys and girls. Each of these schools will have assembly hall and dining hall complex. Each of these schools will have accommodation for teachers on campuses. Each of these schools will have headmaster or headmistresses bungalows. Each of these schools will have health posts, sick bays for the schools. It will have science laboratories and a lot of things that will make it a standard school to serve us. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this, we have also indicated that today a lot of parents want their children to go to Category A schools. But there is a limit to what numbers that the few Category A schools we have will be able to absorb. And so as part of this, we are going to upgrade about 20 Category B schools to Category A. So we are going to have additional Category A schools. In addition to this, we are also upgrading 30 Category C schools to Category B, so that we'll be able to get a lot more schools into some of these important schools. Mr. Speaker, there is one important thing that I want you to look at. This is not the first time we are taking facility from the World Bank. We all know, if you look at the terms of the facility, it is highly concessional. It is long dated, 30 years with 5 years grace period. This is probably the best facility you can get now. But Mr. Speaker, look at the utilization of the process that I just described. 86% of the $300 million that we are going for is going into real infrastructure work, provision of classrooms, dormitories, and all the 86%. This is a sharp contrast to what we used to see when you borrow these funds and you use about 50% for consultancy, for training, and for travels. This is not happening. We say we are spending 86% of this money on the provision of school infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, apart from that, we are also spending $20 million of this money to provide furniture for schools. And we are providing textbooks for every secondary school student in this country. That is the difference between what we are using the money for today and what we used to see in the past. Mr. Speaker, apart from that, we have heard them suggest that the money we are taking today, but who interrupted you? You see,
Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. The Deputy Minister responsible for finance is making a very serious statement, an allegation that money borrowed during the previous administration, 50% was used for consultancy and travels, which is not true. Mr. Speaker, if he can provide evidence or otherwise, he should withdraw that statement and continue.
It should be deleted from the record.
Yes.
And it should be expunged from the record. He should provide evidence.
Please,
Mr. Speaker,
please.
He should provide evidence to the effect that 50% of monies that were borrowed were for consultancy and for travel purposes. In the absence of that, he should withdraw, and that should be expunged from the record, because that is factually incorrect.
That's correct.
Please. Let's be. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, I will urge my brother not to go in that direction. Indeed, we can present you evidence that in most cases, less than 50% went into the real project. Less than 50%. These monies that we are approving today were monies that were already offered to the Republic of Ghana under the NPP regime. And the loans were renegotiated to cut out a lot of junk, if I may describe it that way. And the government insisted that unless more than 80% of the money was going into the actual projects, and indeed, the roads minister, when it gets to his turn, you will even hear worse. So don't let us go into it, because we can give you the evidence. We can take all the previous loans, sit with you, and engage in the analysis. And you will see that this government has renegotiated and restructured all these loans more favorably for the Republic of Ghana.
Leader, I hope you take your bite. So let's.
Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader should understand that I'm already on that tangent. And Mr. Speaker, I still insist that the Deputy Minister responsible for finance, if he is unable to provide us the specific project amount involved, of which more than 50% of that was used for consultancy and travel, he should humbly withdraw that. If you can't provide it for us now withdraw that. And anytime you think you have that and you can provide, you can make such a statement. But for now, if you can't provide that information to this house, then you should withdraw that and make progress.
Well.
I am under order 122.
Well. Minister.
Mr. Speaker,
are you able
Mr. Speaker, look, we are all in this country. We know what you have been doing. Look, in the year 2020, you went to the IMF, the same World Bank, for an IDA loan. What? Sit down and listen to me. Sit down and listen to me. You had your turn. What sort of intolerance is that? When you were speaking, I was quiet and listening to you. What kind of intolerance is that? Let's keep quiet and listen to me. The same way you have been expecting me to sit down and listen to me. What kind of intolerance is that?
Habib.
What kind of intolerance is that? I have the floor now.
Honorable Habib.
I have the floor now. Why? When you were speaking, I sat quietly.
Let him provide.
Listen.
Honorable Habib.
Allow me to respond to you. Why don't you want to listen to me?
Oh, Habib.
Mr. Speaker.
You have asked him, let him, if he is providing it. Yes, Honorable Minister, let's see.
Mr. Speaker, in 2020, under IDA 19, you went to the World Bank for $1.7 billion. What did you use the money for? You went in 2022. In 2022.
Honorable Minister.
You went to the same World Bank to borrow $2.5 billion. What did you use the money for? We are telling you that under IDA 21, we are going for money and using 86% for fiscal infrastructure, and you are challenging us. That is the difference we are talking about. Recently, there was this issue about Garrett, and we came to meet the committee and demonstrated that contrary to what you were doing in the past, we say we will not use borrowed funds to finance consultancy and travel.
Just conclude.
How different is
just
that?
Conclude with
Mr. Speaker, while I conclude, another misinformation that they have tried to put in the system is to create the impression that we are borrowing to fund free secondary education. But that is not what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, look, if they are minded to be quiet and listen to me, they will get what I'm talking about. When you had your chance, I was quiet and I sat and listened to you. Why can't you do the same? Mr. Speaker, they have been making that wrong statements that this money is going to be used to fund free secondary education. But that is not the case. Mr. Speaker, when this government came, we took a bold decision to uncap the GET Fund. And we decided that we will let GET Fund finance free secondary education. Up to date, GET Fund has spent 1.8 billion cedis to finance free secondary education. Since 2025, have you heard Charles threatening to close down secondary schools? Have you heard that in this country? Since 2025, have you heard our secondary students complaining about feeding? Why won't the minority leader allow me to land? I'm landing. I'm landing. Mr. Speaker, I have concluded. I won't say anything again. Thank you.
Yes, now leadership. Leadership, yes.
No, Mr. Speaker, you have not addressed my matter. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you have not addressed my matter. The deputy minister only said either 2019, he didn't provide any figure, either 2022. But what I am asking from him, he said more than 50% of loans that were contracted during our term, we use more than 50% for travel and consultancy. Mr. Speaker, if he cannot provide that any evidence at this moment, it should be expunged from the record, because what he is saying is factually incorrect and he's misleading the House. So, Mr. Speaker, that part should be expunged from his debate. It should be expunged. And Mr. Speaker, he has not provided us anything, nothing. He has provided nothing. He should tell us maybe $2 million was contracted, 60% this amount was used for this and that, and which specific project. So, Mr. Speaker, it should be expunged from the record. We cannot allow that to stay on the record, Mr. Speaker. No, it is against our rules. He cannot. The deputy minister cannot mislead us. So if he cannot provide the evidence, it should be expunged. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm inviting you into this. Either he provide evidence or it should be expunged.
Mr. Speaker, you asked for leadership, so he has finished.
No.
No, he asked for leadership. And he's a leader. He is a leader. And he got up and spoke extensively. So far as we are concerned, you have exhausted leadership. So can we now call on the Minister for Education to conclude matters?
Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, the game must be fair. The game must be fair. There's an application before you for your determination. Mr. Speaker, the application is to the effect that the submission by the minister, deputy minister, claiming that during our time, the MPP's administration, IDA facilities that were procured, over 50% went into travel and consultancy. Mr. Speaker, we dispute that. This is a house of records. And we are saying that if he cannot provide evidence, Mr. Speaker, evidence backed by Auditor General's report, if he doesn't have, same must be expunged from the record. Mr. Speaker, this cannot stay.
Honorable Minister.
He's a deputy minister. He should know where he stands in public service. You can't mislead this house.
Honorable Minister, can you give us specific figures so that we move on? I mean, we don't need to be wasting our time on this. Yes, leader. I want the minister to Deputy Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
Leader, let's move on. Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we say a lot of things for which we have evidence, but not readily. I will urge that we direct the Finance Committee of this House to go and study the various loan agreements and come and report to us on this matter. Yes, because the Finance Minister can get up and read anything to us. Will that constitute acceptable evidence? So, if he disputes the fact that a lot of the loans, yes, many loans, yes. Oh, I'm saying a lot of the loans. Is that okay? The use to which the loans were put, many of them, less than 50%, actually went to the actual mission of that loan. I can assure you that if we direct our Finance Committee to engage the Finance Ministry and analyze the loans and bring us back a report, it will put this matter to a rest.
Leader, we have to move on. Table, please expunge that aspect for me. No, please. Honorable members, we need to move on. We have other facilities to take. Please, we need to move on. So we have to move on. That's my ruling, please. Ampim. So take it. Yes. Yes, move on. I mean, please, we have other facilities to take. Please, let's take it cool. We don't need to split our heads on this. Yes, minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, it is now clear that the NDC in opposition is not the same NDC in government. The things
Yes, leader, let's hear you, please. Leader, address the chair, please. Address the chair. Let's move on.
Mr. Speaker, I repeat, the NDC in opposition is not the same NDC in government. Mr. Speaker, they spoke big. They promised. They said they don't need loans.
Honorable members, we have other facilities to please. Let's keep kind of them.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Since this is a house of record, for which whatever you say, you must produce evidence. He should produce evidence that NDC said we never needed any loan. So he should produce the evidence. Yes, otherwise he should also withdraw. He should also withdraw or produce evidence that NDC said that we will never take a loan. We want you to provide the evidence that NDC said we will never take a loan. We said you were taking too much loans. It is different from saying that we will never take a loan. We said that you had, violated the debt sustainability rules. We didn't say we will not take a loan. You take a loan within acceptable limits. No, so Mr. Speaker, he has to provide the evidence. Otherwise, you should also expunge it from the records.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, as the majority leader just said, the NDC said they didn't want too much loans. Mr. Speaker, but today, Mr. Speaker, what we are witnessing now amount to too much loans. Mr. Speaker, to the extent that we are here being invited to approve almost $1 billion just one day. Mr. Speaker, it means a lot.
Leader, let's go on.
Per the rules, you have to be calm and observe proceedings and make sure you do the right thing. So as soon as I observe them making noise, I will just put off the mic, allow them.
But they are taking 10,000 from it as tax. From the service, from the dealer.
Mr. Speaker, one day, almost 1 billion. Where is their Dr. Clementa Park? The man who was always on the neck of the MPP. Today, his silence is very loud. Mr. Speaker, we under our administration introduced free SHS. Mr. Speaker, the free SHS opened up the country for children who otherwise could not get access because their parents were poor to get access. Mr. Speaker, our friends, apostles of criticism, every single thing Akufo-Addo did, they condemned. But Mr. Speaker, we all know that Akufo-Addo they criticized, condemned, kept our lights on, and kept our children in school. Mr. Speaker, the infrastructure, the investment in educational infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, is unmatched. Mr. Speaker, TVET institutions received facelift, machinery, equipment, new classroom blocks, new admin blocks, new bungalows for teachers, and all. Mr. Speaker, STEM education was introduced. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. These were reforms that transformed the educational sector. Our friends did not see any of these. In all of these, Akufo-Addo did not come here for this amount of money. Mr. Speaker, what he did was to utilize internal resources. In less than 2 years, free SHS has already suffocated them. Because, Mr. Speaker, they have no idea how
Honorable members, please, let's give him a hearing, please. Yes, Honorable Leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, they have no idea how the free SHS came into being. Even at a point, they claim that they introduced free SHS. That is NDC for you. They will say it even when they know that they have nothing to stand on. They will say it. Mr. Speaker, today, they say we should approve this thing for them. Oh, really? You are going to borrow. Now, let me remind them, Mr. Speaker, if they know how to manage the economy, look at what is happening at the gold board. Mr. Speaker, the IMF issued a report and talked about billions going into waste. And when you ask them, they say it is a cost for implementing economic policy. Mr. Speaker, that losses, the losses that IMF reported could have been used to finance it instead of going to borrow.
Your counterpart is up.
Mr. Speaker, that's all. I will resume my seat for him. Why not?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have tried to discipline. We have tried to discipline ourselves. We have tried to discipline ourselves, and we agree that let's use the right expressions. If you say waste at Gold Board, the IMF has not reported waste at Gold Board. IMF spoke about losses. There's a difference between loss and waste. But there's a difference between saying that somebody is wasteful and saying that somebody is recording losses. So let me just indicate that the IMF report doesn't say that Gold Board is wasteful. Okay?
Thank you very much. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, indeed, the IMF's report is to the effect that the state has lost billions of cedis as a result of these gold board transactions. Mr. Speaker, the trading losses according to government was as a result of the costs in implementing economic policy. Mr. Speaker, I want to stay there for a little while. You are borrowing $300 million, $500 million, and it is costing you more than that amount to implement an economic policy. Mr. Speaker, when the minority initially raised this matter on this floor, that the losses be looked into because we could use that money to invest in educational infrastructure, we were told that no. Now what did government do? Government vindicated our members on the economy committee without coming to actually commend their industry. Mr. Speaker, Bank of Ghana and Gold Board convened an emergency meeting to review the charges, the fees, from 15% to 9%, and from 9% it went further down to 5%. And just yesterday, the governor said, enough is enough. The Bank of Ghana was no more going to finance or pay any fees to Gold Board. My question is, after all, was the minority right? If we were wrong and you had justification for incurring those losses, why didn't you continue? But you have reviewed it. So, Mr. Speaker, my argument is that if you had prudently approached the management of the economy, you wouldn't have incurred losses. It wouldn't have taken the IMF to report those billions. And you come here today after we had exposed this and brought it to visibility.
Leader.
You are now saying
Leader.
that we should approve
Leader,
this.
indulge me once
Oh,
again.
very well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why not?
Yes.
I would sit
Adongo.
down for him, please. At least he's been quiet. Yes, you are doing the right thing. I will sit down for you. Yeah, he is a member of Bank of Ghana board. So, Mr. Speaker, that's fine. No, I will sit down. Don't worry.
Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. The Gold Board is a separate legal entity that has its own set of accounts that are audited. If they can prove from the audited accounts of Gold Board that Gold Board made losses, I will resign as a member of Parliament. Yeah. Let me tell you, the honest truth is that Gold Board made profit. So to say that Gold Board made losses is neither here nor there. The financial who did Gold Board, who did government pay to? Did government pay the money to any individual that you know? No, I'm asking you. Did the government of Ghana lose any money that was paid to any identifiable person that you know? For sure. Can you point one person? Can you? But who? Look at this. Look at what he's saying. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. I want them to stop misleading the people that Gold Board ever made losses. Gold Board is a profit-making entity that has rather made profit than the entities that they manage. My good leader was the chairman of ECG that made losses. Yeah. He was the chairman of Ghana Water Company that made losses. Yeah. Gold Board,
thank you.
Made profit, and I want that to reflect.
Let's end it there, please. Honorable members, please, we have to be a bit tolerant. We need to work on other facilities, but the interjections are too much. So I'm pleading with all of you. If you get up and I'm not able to identify you, please, we need to get on so that we'll be able to finish all this. I beg of you. So, leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, in all humility, you are our primus. And my duty is to accord the chair every respect. Mr. Speaker, when a member stood up on a point of order, Honorable Adongo, on a specific matter, and he made his point, Mr. Speaker, he goes on to make other submissions, and if the chair allows you to stay, what it means, Mr. Speaker, if you don't get it expunged or get him to justify, Mr. Speaker, then we are reducing this chamber into something else. I quoted the IMF report. IMF said the gold for reserves policy has resulted in losses, Mr. Speaker. The amount they quoted as of end year 31st December 2025 was 9.6 billion cedis. This is not me. This is not me. The IMF further directed in their report that government would have to take steps to prevent further losses. And I'm saying that as a result of the minorities' intervention, the Gold Board and the World BOG convened a joint board meeting to first review the fees from 15% to 9%, which was positive, but which was to the credit of the minorities' loud voice on the matter that no, the losses are too much. Mr. Speaker, again, the losses, the fees was further reviewed to 5%. That was also after the minority had raised the issue on the floor. And yesterday, the Bank of Ghana announced that indeed they were no more going to finance the gold for reserve policy. So they are withdrawing. My argument therefore is that if they had listened to us, they wouldn't have incurred those losses. They would have saved the public purse. And if those savings were there, we wouldn't be here demanding for a loan. Because this is state's own resources, 9.6 billion. And you said you were going to use that to finance an economic policy.
Leader,
we caution, Mr. Speaker.
Can you conclude for me? Just wind up for me.
Very well. If it pleases the chair. Mr. Speaker, if it pleases the chair.
I give you 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, if it pleases the chair.
5 minutes, conclude.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is very well. Very well.
So,
Mr. Speaker, our argument basically is that if the government had listened to us, it wouldn't have incurred over 9.6 billion in losses. And this has become part of the records of an international agency that has oversight on government. And Mr. Speaker, again, we are saying that it is okay to make an investment in education. After all, this policy was the brainchild of Akufo-Addo. They didn't believe in it. They doubted its success. But if today they have come and they think that it is a good policy, Mr. Speaker, we already know that free SHS is good for Ghana. So, Mr. Speaker, it is good to make those investments. But, Mr. Speaker, after today, after they have used their majority to approve it, Mr. Speaker, we are not going to watch them unconcerned. No, we are going to open our eyes to look into the procurement. Mr. Speaker, you say you are going to construct bungalows. You are going to buy A, buy B, buy C. The minority will hold you accountable. Mr. Speaker, it's not going to be business as usual. We know your usual tactics. Use your numbers to intimidate us, but we will not be intimidated. We will hold you to account for every dollar you will take from the IMF. Mr. Speaker, that said, we are not here to stampede government business. We are here to provide a critical voice, to scrutinize and to draw the attention to some excesses and loopholes. We've done our work. The job is now for them to make the right investment and sustain this free SHS policy that Akufo-Addo Bawumia introduced into our education system. May God bless them and bless their years in public service. Mr. Speaker, alas, posterity has vindicated Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, and here we are. You are now borrowing for free SHS. We pray that you'll be able to sustain it. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
Thank you so much. Yes, majority leadership.
Mr. Speaker.
Please, I'm not entertaining any interjections again. Yeah, leader, let's hear.
Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, one point needs to be made clear. And the Deputy Minister for Finance has made it abundantly clear that this loan is not to finance free SHS. I don't know how the minority leader read the report. He said He said he had not read the report, and I asked for a 1-hour extension so that he can read the report. But it is obvious that he has not read the report. Because if he had read the report, he would see that the major objective of this loan is to improve the quality of education. The quality of education. The quality of education. Because Ghanaians have received reports, and based on performance at WAEC, there is a perceived categorization of schools into grade A, grade B, grade C. And the underlying reason why some schools perform better than others is largely a function of infrastructure. And so this government has taken the bold step to abolish the idea of some schools being grade A's and others being grade C's. We want all schools to be grade A schools. And that requires investment in the infrastructure to equalize investment of infrastructure in all the schools so that they can all do well. All children will do well. And in addition, for schools that already have infrastructure shortage, for us to ensure a massive injection of infrastructure so that they can also do well. So that fundamentally is the object of this. Mr. Speaker, how would you boast of a senior high school system in which the schools will have to run shift systems? Shift systems.
Leader.
Shift systems.
Let me. Your counterpart.
Mr. Speaker, I will not remain here. If I'm not here, that's a different matter. But once I remain here, I won't allow the majority leader to mislead this House. Mr. Speaker, the report is here. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate. He said for Hansa to record that I have not read the report. Mr. Speaker, this is what the committee's report says. In conclusion, and with your leave, I quote, "The committee accordingly recommends to the House to adopt this report and approve the credit facility agreement between Government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association, IDA, of the World Bank Group for an amount of 300 million to finance secondary education transformation for access." Is it not free SHS? Is it not free SHS? Is it not free SHS you are financing? Mr. Speaker, is it not the free SHS you are financing? Mr. Speaker, is it not the free SHS you are using this to finance?
Well.
Mr. Speaker, it continues. They will not listen. It continues. Secondary education transformation for access, relevance, and result for job projects in accordance with 181. Mr. Speaker, listen, Mr. Speaker, what educational policy are we implementing as a country? Free SHS. Mr. Speaker, the educational policy.
Honorable members, please. Honorable members, please.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not done. Mr. Speaker,
Leader.
the free SHS policy. The free SHS policy that is being implemented is what this is being used to finance.
Yes.
So why would the majority leader mislead this House?
Leader, thank you.
Why would he mislead this House?
Thank you. Majority
You are
leader,
using this to
can you
finance
conclude
free
for us?
SHS, and we never borrowed to finance free SHS.
Leader, can you conclude for us?
Mr. Speaker, having listened to the minority leader, he has made a strong case that he has read but he has not understood. has read, but he has not understood. So everything that is done in secondary education is free SHS. Didn't we have secondary education before the free was introduced? There was secondary education before the free was introduced. So it's not everything that you do in secondary education that is free SHS. So, Mr. Speaker, I also want to correct the record that the Gold Board has not in any report registered a loss. Indeed, I have read reports that say that the Gold Board has been very, very profitable. What you have seen in the IMF report is an indication that the mechanism for stabilizing the city using the purchase of gold from gold miners and the sale of the gold and the raking in of the dollar in order to ensure the stability of the city and adequate supply of dollars has certain costs. They don't think that the central bank should be bearing that cost. That basically is the gravamen of the report of the IMF, that there is a cost. You are enjoying a benefit if by your valuation the cost is far less than the benefit. Fine, as an economy. But they are uncomfortable with that cost being borne by the central bank. So the central bank embarks on a gradual program of withdrawing from the program so that the cost will go to some other area. But to say Gold Board is incurring costs, the Gold Board is incurring losses, Gold Board is wasteful, at every instance trying to destroy the brand of the Gold Board, we disagree. And let that end today.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader.
I believe that there is a consensus among us on all sides that this is a good loan and we should pass it. And I also want to address the fact that since I assumed my leadership, I have hardly seen this House process a loan transaction. In fact, this is the first time I'm seeing a loan agreement being brought to this House from the World Bank, from the World Bank, from the World Bank, from the World Bank, from the World Bank.
Thank you. Leader, thank you.
Mr. Speaker, this is the first time I'm seeing a loan from the World Bank. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that this government has been very, very disciplined. Schools are running very well without these loans. Hospitals are running very well without these loans. Our district assemblies are running very well without these loans. Workers are being well paid without these loans. The electricity has been on without these loans.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, but we are not saying as a government that we will never take a loan. That's not what we're saying.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will take loans, we will take good loans, we will take loans that are not too costly, and when we take the loans, we will put the loans in the right sectors of the economy.
Thank you, Leader.
And this is what this loan testifies to. So I thank colleagues for accepting to approve this. I want to assure him that it is not only the minority that will keep an eye on the loans and how the loans are disbursed and the projects that are being executed. The entire House will keep an eye on the projects to ensure that we get value for money. And I can assure you that the Minister for Education will definitely do the right thing, so you don't need to be worried.
Thank you.
You can sleep with all your two eyes closed. Unlike in the past when we could not sleep with our two eyes closed.
Thank you, Leader.
I can assure you that you can sleep with your two eyes closed.
Leader, thank you. Honorable Minister for Education, will you conclude for us?
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity and to thank the Ministry of Finance for putting this together with the Ministry of Education. and to urge colleagues to support the approval of the $300 million to support secondary education transformation, which will necessarily include expanded infrastructure for our secondary schools. Mr. Speaker, shortly I'll share a picture with colleagues that we are currently reviewing these facilities with costs, and we'll subject it to value for money. And that, Mr. Speaker, this is Mr. Speaker, when this
Okay, I'll stop.
Honourable members, let's hold on. I'll put the question now. Honourable members, let me put the question now. Honourable members, all those in favour that motion listed 2 in today's order paper addendum, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion listed 2 in today's order paper addendum is hereby carried. Yes,
Mr.
Leader.
Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention to procedural matter. And Mr. Speaker, with your guidance and then to relate that with the clerk at table. When a motion is debated based on a report from a committee, a member commenting on it, whether the member is a minister or not, it is not part of our practice to project an image on the screen. If it is a ministerial statement, or anything, you are allowed to do that. If the minister is making a statement and want to project things, if the minister, Mr. Speaker, if the minister responsible is making a statement which is on policy and want to project something, it is allowed, but not when every member is commenting on a report of a committee. I want to draw your attention to that.
Well noted. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from Honorable Habib whether projections on the screens are part of the Hansard. Are they part of the Hansard? They are not part of the Hansard. So whatever is projected on the screen has nothing to do with the records of this house. It has nothing to do with the records of this house. So I don't know why he will take issue with the Minister for Education projecting very beautifully the edifices that will be constructed out of this money that we are approving. This is the very person who says that he wants to participate, he wants to observe, he wants to see what is happening. The minister has started showing him what will happen and he's running away. You said you want to see.
Honorable,
you will follow
Honorable Leader.
to see what the money is going
Honorable
to be used
Leader.
for. The minister is showing you what he will use the money for. And he said he shouldn't show you.
Honorable Leader, thank you. Honorable members, resolution.
Mr. Speaker, we need to get certain facts right, so that all of us will be guided. If the majority leader is saying that there is nothing wrong in getting certain pictures and exhibits and all of that projected on the screen, Mr. Speaker, then we are guided. If that is your ruling, then all of us will come prepared, because we have a lot to share, so that as we debate, Mr. Speaker, for instance, when the majority leader said It is the first time of we getting a World Bank loan. We checked on the 2nd of July, for instance, 2025. This government came for 360 million IDA facility.
Honorable members, we halted the program. So let's put that one aside. I'm not.
Mr. Speaker, on the 2nd of July 2025, there was a World Bank facility that this House approved for $360 million as a post-COVID recovery support. So if the majority leader says this is the first time we are getting a World Bank loan, Mr. Speaker, it is not correct.
Well.
It is not.
Well. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, honorable members, item 3, resolution. Deputy Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that item number 3 on today's order paper addendum 2 be taken now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I object to that. Mr. Speaker, he states Minister for Finance. He's not the Minister for Finance, and he never seek a leave. Are you the Minister for Finance?
Honorable Habib.
The rule says that Minister for Finance, there is no application for the deputy to do that. And he's not the Minister for Finance.
Honorable Habib.
Are you the Minister for Finance?
Honorable
Are you the
Habib.
Minister for Finance? Or you want to overthrow your boss? Or you want to overthrow your boss? Mr. Speaker, my point here is that the resolution said by the Minister for Finance, and he is not the Minister for Finance.
Okay.
Or you are attempting to overthrow your boss.
Make the application. Make the application.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please, we are mature. I mean, we are here to do business. Let's respect ourselves. I beg of you. No. Honorable members, please. Leader, make an
Mr.
application.
Speaker, so we'll ask for leave for the Deputy Minister for Finance to move the motion the resolution advertised as item number 3. The Deputy Minister, as we all know, has traditionally been the person pushing these transactions in the House. So we thought that it was a matter of course that he will be the one to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any objection to that.
Thank you very much. Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that item number 3 on today's order paper addendum 2 be moved now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, we don't joke with procedure. Mr. Speaker, we have to take procedural issues serious. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable,
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Yusuf.
No, not yet. No.
Yusuf, I appreciate what we are telling, but please. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kuma, please.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to understand exactly what the deputy minister did. Mr. Speaker, leave was sought for him to move a motion. The particular motion he was to move and the terms of that motion, Mr. Speaker, was not exactly what he did. That is why I rose to draw his attention to properly move the motion. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record. This is a house of record. So I'm only pleading with him to do the proper thing. After the leave was granted, he knows how to move the motion. Look at the terms of the motion and move it in a manner known to the House. That is all, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Because we are in minority, we should just shut our eyes so that it is yeah. If they don't want us to draw their attention, we will not. We will not. If we draw your attention to something that you get irritated, you use all manner of words, abuse us all the time. You are being abusive because you are a deputy minister. Yes. Enjoy. Yes. Because that is what he did. It's not you. It's not honorable you. It's not you, deputy finance minister. The member who abused me knows himself. But I will not mention his name out of great respect.
Leader, thank you.
He knows.
Leader, thank you. Leader, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. We have been in this house.
Leader, let's hear you.
Oh, he actually said, leader, let's hear you. So I was called. No, he just repeated it. Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to listen in silence to the minority leader because I was hoping that he will show what was wrong about the motion as moved by the Deputy Finance Minister. We have been in this house and we have developed conventions and practices to save time. And everybody knows that it is not all the time that a mover of a motion reads the entire resolution or the entire motion. Very often we say we are moving the motion itemized as number 7. I so move. That's what we do all the time. So I wanted to hear the minority leader, not because I thought he would not waste my time, but because I was hoping that, because I was hoping that he will show exactly what went wrong with what the Deputy Finance Minister did. But clearly, he has wasted our time because he hasn't shown that the Deputy Finance Minister did anything wrong in moving the motion. And yet, when you are doing that and people are protesting because they think we are just wasting time, then you turn and say they are not respecting you.
Leader, thank you. Leader, thank you. Yes. Deputy Minister, may you help us once again. It's moved. Moved and seconded. Yes. Have you seconded it? Honourable members, the resolution listed 3 in today's other paper addendum has been moved and seconded. It is before the House for consideration. Honourable members, the question is, all those in favor of the resolution listed 3 say aye. Aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The resolution listed 3 in today's other paper addendum has been adopted. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
Come back.
Mr. Speaker, we will take motion number 7. Motion number 7. Yes.
Come with me to page 5, item listed 7, motion. Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, I move that motion number 7 on today's order paper addendum be moved now. Addendum 2 be moved now.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I write to second the motion.
Well, honorable members, the motion has been moved and has been seconded. Honorable members will indulge me that this is procedural, and therefore I'll go ahead and put the question. All those in favor that motion listed 7 in today's order paper addendum, say aye. Aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Now 8. Substantive motion 8.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that motion number 8 on today's order paper addendum 2 be moved now. Mr. Speaker, by so doing, I would like to present the committee's report. I will highlight key aspects of the report and request that Hansard captures the entire report as having been read. Mr. Speaker, the credit facility agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group for an amount of $500 million United States dollars to finance the Ghana Market Access and Connectivity Project was presented to this House on the 16th of July 2026 in accordance with Article 1812 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the committee met with the Ministry of Finance, represented by the Deputy Minister for Finance, Honorable
Isaac Adongo, kindly indulge me to cede the seat to the First Deputy Speaker. Yes. No, you may go on.
All right.
Honourable members, order.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Zikadongo, you may continue.
How can I go ahead when the man is concerned? There's so much noise.
Honourable Zikadongo, you may continue.
Oh, Charlie. Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that inadequate transport infrastructure remains one of the major constraints to agricultural development in Ghana. Poor feeder roads, reduced farmers' access to markets, increased transportation losses, and contribute significantly to post-harvest losses. The government has therefore prioritized investment in rural infrastructure feeder roads to be able to address some of these challenges. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that the current loan agreement that is presented, together with the other two, form the first replenishment withdrawal by the government of Ghana under IDA 21. But Mr. Speaker, between 2020 to 2022, the government of Ghana withdrew 1.7 billion under IDA 19. And between July 2022 and June 2025, a further 2.5 billion was withdrawn by the government. Mr. Speaker, members raised concerns about the fact that some projects in their constituencies were not covered. Subsequently, we engaged the Minister for Roads, and he indicated that the ministry was already packaging a second phase of the project and has identified a number of districts and regions that have been underserved, and that a total of 417 kilometers of roads are expected to be funded under the phase 2. And therefore, for those areas that were not covered, you can take solace in the fact that there's a second phase that is coming to address that. But also, we also got a commitment of the ministry to prioritize those other districts in the government's own budget for 2027. And therefore, we request that members should take notice of those arrangements by the ministry to provide additional support for their constituencies. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore recommends to this House that we should approve the committee's report by consensus and approve the loan facility to enable the Ministry of Roads and Highways to implement the project as indicated to the committee. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion move, report presented. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, looking at the terms of the facility, this is a very good facility that will help us.
Are you seconding the motion, or you are just speaking to the report?
Yeah, I'm seconding the motion.
That is so.
I'll speak to your report.
Yes.
He's the one he's using.
Mr. Speaker, like I said, looking at the terms of the facility, I think it's a very good concessional facility that we are taking. But what I want to caution the ministry is that if you check the condition, item 8, we have 0.5 per annum on unwithdrawn financing balance. So they have to expect that action on the utilization of the facility. But the more you keep the money in there, the more you are paying interest on unwithdrawn balance. So whatever they intended to use the facility for, they have to expect that action on it. So by the end of the day, we get value for money. So like the chairman said, many of the communities were not captured. So they've made provision in the 2027 budget so that it will take care of all those communities so that they will also benefit, especially in terms of federal roads development. So with these few words, I call on members to support your committee's report. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honourable Stephen Amwa.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I rise up not in extreme disagreement with the motion. But Mr. Speaker, before then, I would like us to put this whole loan into a certain well-defined context so we can actually, going forward, apart from getting value for money, we will also make some sort of essential adjustment when we want to deal with facilities of this nature. Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time as a house or a country we are engaging the World Bank or other facilitators, in getting this loan for the purpose we are actually being presented to this very evening in this August House. Mr. Speaker, my concern is that we all agree that agriculture used to be and still the mainstay of our economy, although its component in terms of this fundamental parameter or variable has been reduced. You realize that if we actually contract loans, and the loans are not meant to deal comprehensively with each of the essential segments of the entire value chain, we don't get the needed results. Mr. Speaker, connecting the farms to the market has been a cliche, a national chorus next to adding secondary value. However, it is very important that we support this very good cause. But then, we need to be taking the needed precautionary measures and make sure that the money is used and used effectively to attain the purpose for which we are contracting this loan. Many a time, we take the loan, you do impact analysis after the functional or expected functional period, and you realize that there is an obligation to perform as a country. We add to our debt stock, however, we don't get the results. Mr. Speaker, the next thing I want us to also look at is we need to put this context in dealing with consolidating our fiscal space in terms of certain anchors and targets and become relevant as a state in our country. I know the IMF and other bodies are looking forward to we waking up one day as a country, setting our anchors to about 40%. And I know our debt to GDP has been reduced. Yes. When we had a crisis, we went as far as over 85%. By the time we left power, it was around 60, 62. Now it's below 55, 50. I stand to be corrected. But Mr. Speaker, all these do not illustrate the needed resilience we need as a country, and rely on some of these things in the attempt to strengthen the strategic assets and sectors in our areas. But implementing them and making sure that we touch on the right areas, supervise them, and make sure we do that. We don't. So, Mr. Speaker, I only like to admonish the Finance Ministry and the implementers and the stakeholders of this fund that it doesn't have to be the usual cliche that we've gotten money for this purpose, then we come back next year connecting the things to the farms. We keep on doing, the cocoa roads under their tenure and under our tenure. And Ghana, we seem to be recycling the same problems all the time. We cannot keep on doing this. This amount is huge, and it's not free. Whether it's a concessionary loan or what, it's not free. We are going to pay. And it's in dollars. It comes with risk. So I'm just admonishing my brothers at the other side who are kind of creating some sort of destructive interference of waves because they are getting this, to redefine and position themselves well and make sure that they don't keep on, but I thought they were not going to take loans. I hear one of my brothers saying that, oh, our time, they complained because we went beyond the policy requirement. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised. We have exclusion clauses. And that is why the PFM Act 921, Section 18, states some of them. Circumstances under which we can trigger these clauses to make sure that whatever is confronting us as a country, especially when there is endemic or pandemic diseases or war or natural disaster, you don't expect a country such as Ghana not to trigger the exclusion clauses so we can even go beyond our targets. And some of these things we need to put them in the context in order not to do propaganda and paint a picture as if our government was not doing what was not needful. will actually comply
Honorable
with the
Stephen
laws.
Amwa, kindly conclude for me.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, sir. So, Mr. Speaker, now I have to move from. The next thing is the fact that one of the key purposes of our state budget is regional development balance. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the beneficiaries in terms of regions and districts, our chairman emphasized that. But, Mr. Speaker, I think it's very serious. Ashanti region alone, in terms of size of population, we are about 16.5. Average population size for the 16 regions is about 6.2. But you can only see Atigya Sechuredumase. That's all I can see here. I stand to be corrected. What it means is that we are contracting loans for the very. If you look at even the next page, what is there? Mr. Speaker, look, where is here? Check. And we are trying to say that this country needs to be treated in a way that the state purposes, when it comes to our budget distribution, will be done in a way that every region, every district, all of us can benefit equally. In fact, they say equality is equity. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to farms, when it comes to agriculture, you realize that Ashanti region, Bunahafu, Eastern, and others also play very critical roles. But you look at how they've been marginalized, it is extremely unacceptable. And even though I speak to support it, going forward, I'm just admonishing them that they need to place these redistribution policies in the context that others will not be seen as being left out. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, once again, I've heard our friends, and the beauty of it is that nobody is against this. The terms are highly concessional. Everybody is happy with this. But a few issues that they are raising, some of them will have to be responded to. But, Mr. Speaker, if you look at this facility and the utilization as has been presented to this House, is something that everybody must see, that government today is making deliberate effort to ensure that when we assess financing, it goes into tangible things and not the very soft things. Mr. Speaker, out of the $500 million that we are assessing, we are spending $475 million on actual construction of our feeder roads. The rehabilitation of the feeder roads, that component is $473 million. The next component, which is road maintenance, the loan part of $18 million is also going to be applied for the maintenance of our roads. So if you put the two together, you see that almost the $500 million is going directly into the construction of our roads. In fact, $491 million is going directly into the actual construction. It is only $9 million that is under the component that will be used to strengthen the institutional capacity of the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Department of Feeder Roads, and also the Environmental Protection Agencies and Land Valuation Division. These are the institutions that are going to utilize the $5 million. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the point we have been making. In addition to this, and most importantly, you see, we construct roads and we allow them to deteriorate. So this particular program is making available a total of $41 million for the maintenance of the roads that will be constructed on a performance-based contract basis. So what that is going to do is that there will be contracts awarded to some construction companies, you maintain the road, it is inspected that you have done the work before you are paid. So, Mr. Speaker, over 98% of the money is going into the actual construction. Mr. Speaker, an important point was made by Honorable Achampong that if you look at the terms of the contract, there is a 0.5% commitment charge on the unwithdrawn balance. So he was cautioning that we should make sure that we draw down and utilize the money expeditiously so that we don't incur that cost. But I can assure you that a hard-working road minister, who we have all seen running around the length and breadth of this country inspecting roads, will not rest knowing that there is funding available to fix roads. He is in a hurry to fix Ghana's roads, and so he will make sure the money is utilized. But the good news is that even though this is part of the terms, the board of the World Bank has waived it, and so we don't have to pay that 0.5% commitment charge. The board takes that decision on annual basis. Currently, the decision is that it is waived, and we want to assure you that we will work together with the road ministry to ensure that we draw down and apply the money for the purpose for which we have come to this house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Gideon Bako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the debate on the report of the Finance Committee on this credit facility of $523 million. Mr. Speaker, as elaborated by the chairman of the committee, this facility goes to address the inadequacy of road or transport infrastructure in the country. The Speaker, I have no hesitation at all to support this credit facility because all of us sitting here have feeder roads and bad roads in our constituencies, and we have been hoping to get this addressed. Mr. Speaker, the matter of poor roads, especially those that go to the farm gates, go beyond just providing or inhibiting access to transportation. Mr. Speaker, the economic effect of bad roads or bad feeder roads is that of what this facility is seeking to address. If you read the report is talking about the facility contributing significantly to eradicate or reduce post-harvest losses. Mr. Speaker, the issue of post-harvest loss is something that we should pay attention to as a country. It is estimated that every year between 30 to 50% of fruits or vegetables produced in this country go waste. And for tomato production, about 45% are lost due to post-harvest losses because of poor roads and also no storage facilities. But Mr. Speaker, if you look at this post-harvest loss, last year, for instance, the total production of tomatoes is estimated around 1.7 billion cedis. And Mr. Speaker, if we have half of this going waste as a result of poor roads, that's about close to 900 or 700, more than 700 million Ghana cedis. This reduces the income of the farmer. So it is not out of place for some economists to suggest that post-harvest losses are hidden taxes that are not paid or that are not imposed by any law, but the farmer will have to pay it at all costs. Mr. Speaker, when there are post-harvest losses, it leads to triple national loss because in the first place, the farmer who is doing the production is losing income because the loss that is suffered is eating into the income of the farmer. Then again, once the farmer does not have the produce to make sales, it means that government revenue also reduces because there is no VAT or consumption taxes and all of that. And once production is reduced and supply to the market is also reduced, prices go higher. And those of us in Accra, Kumasi, and everywhere in the country, we have to suffer to pay that. So, Mr. Speaker, if we have a facility that is going to address it, it is going to help all of us to address or deal with the most regressive tasks that we have been paying, but we are not paying attention to, which is the post-harvest loss. And therefore, a bad road is not just inconvenience, it is a tax collector. And we are seeking to avoid this tax, this hidden tax that all of us will have to pay as a result of post-harvest losses.
Mr.
Speaker, if you look at the report, just to conclude, the report also acknowledges the difficulty or the problems that is inherent in the facility as a result of the selection of the roads. And Mr. Speaker, unfortunately for me, if you go to the table of all the roads or the constituencies that have been listed here, 4 constituencies in Ahafo out of the 6, my constituency is left out. And just as the report indicates, with the assurance of the minister that the constituencies or the districts that have not been catered for in this will be catered for in subsequent provisions. And I thank the minister for pledging that in the subsequent provisions, turn-on-off will also be catered for. And once that is done, all of us will see the benefit of this facility, such that the people in our constituencies will also see that government allocation is made towards our constituencies, and all of us will be better off as members of parliament. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I support the motion.
I want you to conclude. So let me give the opportunity to the minority leadership. Minority leadership. Yes. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to Dr. Kabiru.
Dr. Kabiru, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you indulge me, I will first and foremost say that this report, having been submitted to the committee on the floor of Parliament, we've realized some mistakes, and they are fundamental mistakes. Mr. Speaker, the first mistake is the statement that the credit facility we are drawing from is from the IDA 2020 replacement cycle. Mr. Speaker, the minister informed us that this loan was approved on the 28th of March 2026. The IDA 20 cycle closed per the report on 30th of June 2025. Almost 1 year after the cycle had closed, they are approving a project. That cannot be right. That cannot be true. And the report would have to correct it. If it is a mistake, they have to correct it. Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the committee is asking for further clarity on the point. And if you indulge, Mr. Speaker, the report is saying that this credit facility now before the committee, that is the report we are considering, is being financed from the Ghana's allocation under the IDA 20 replacement cycle. Mr. Speaker, and I'm drawing the attention of the House to the fact that IDA 20 was closed. It closed on the 30th of June 2025. So we couldn't have been drawing from that particular cycle. And that I am of the view and I'm of the thought that we are drawing from the IDA 2021. And if that is the case, the report will have to reflect that because this is a House of Record. That's the first thing. Mr. Speaker, the second mistake in the report is telling that the project is a maturity period of 30 years. Mr. Speaker, if you take 5 years grace period and you take the repayment period, we are doing about 19.5 years. And if you add the grace period, we are doing 24 years maturity period. Here, the report is saying the maturity period is 30, and when you add the figures, it is 24.5 years. That is another mistake in this report that we cannot approve it on the face of those patent mistakes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, apart from this, there are also issues that we need to consider. The first issue is the fact that we don't have effective interest rate, which are raised in the previous report, and it runs across because for a government to want to borrow about $1 billion United States dollars, and there is no effective, interest rate, Mr. Speaker, we cannot be borrowing at large. And that is the point I think that we need to stress, that almost $1 billion United States dollar is being borrowed today, and there is no firm handle on the interest rate. We cannot be doing that as a country, Mr. Speaker. We know that under the IMF program,
considering? How much is the figure under the report you are considering?
Under the report, we are considering 500 million. But Mr. Speaker,
is it a billion?
500 million United States dollars.
Is it a billion?
Mr. Speaker, it is not a billion, but I am making a point that, Mr. Speaker, that we have already considered an initial 300 million. So please, when I'm making the statement, I'm not saying in reference because it is tied to a previous mistake in the old report, Mr. Speaker. Unless, of course, you are saying that we should not make reference to an old report.
Well, this is the report we are debating.
Mr. Speaker, I will continue. Mr. Speaker, there is also an issue of debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, under the IMF program, we are supposed to have a debt to GDP of 55% and domestic debt to GDP, external debt to GDP of 40%. Mr. Speaker, this report and as of even the minister's memorandum has not addressed this issue as to how this is compounding our debt stock in relative to that particular target under the IMF program, which is a target we have to religiously abide by. It is not contained in this report. Mr. Speaker, the next issue is the counterpart funding. It is only a verbal assurance that the minister has given us in the report, because the counterpart funding is a very important component of this particular agreement. But the minister only gave us a verbal assurance under Section 10 of this report that they will provide the counterpart funding. Mr. Speaker, I think that we need further much more commitment than that's it. Mr. Speaker, the last issue is the contingent emergency response fund. Mr. Speaker, we have experience as a house under the Gunrid project. The problem with this particular agreement is that it has not given us any trigger or situation that we will consider as emergency, to which that will allow them to reallocate funds. Because under the emergency program, funds can be reallocated to address emergency issues. However, they have not given us the triggers of that particular emergency issue. Secondly, they have not even given us approval thresholds under which they are going to use the emergency fund. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, there is no parliamentary oversight. In other words, if there's emergency, as to whether Parliament will be involved in the determination of the situation that constitutes emergency, or even in the threshold, Mr. Speaker, they are lacking in this report.
Honorable Dr. Kabiru, parliamentary oversight cannot be prohibited or allowed by an agreement.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not saying that parliamentary oversight will be allowed by agreement, but Mr. Speaker, financial agreements are regulated by the laws of the country, and financial agreements are actually to have parliamentary oversight by Parliament. So, Mr. Speaker, if we say that we cannot legislate financial oversight, Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ, because we want Parliament to have insight as to what will constitute emergency, so that public funds will not be used in a manner that is not in line with the project. Mr. Speaker, these are the genuine concerns.
Can we conclude?
Mr. Speaker, these are the concerns we have and I have about this particular project, and until such time that those are addressed, Mr. Speaker, with the greater respect, I have hesitation supporting this particular agreement. Mr. Speaker, I'm not oblivious of the fact that we also drew their attention at committee level to the fact that the whole of Northeast region, the food basket in terms of rice farming has been omitted in this particular agricultural project. Mr. Speaker, agriculture project in the sense that it is linking production centers to the market, and it is dealing with rehabilitation of roads, feeder roads. Mr. Speaker, such an oversight cannot be tolerated because they need to be having centers that are actually the food basket of this country. Mr. Speaker, lastly, we asked the Minister of Roads and the team to give us a report of the basis for the selection of those particular communities or districts. Mr. Speaker, we need to tie in productivity of agriculture to those particular areas they have selected. Without that, we'll be using funds that we will pay for in the next 30 years without any meaningful intervention associated with them. Mr. Speaker, these were the concerns we raised, and I will raise them with a view that they will be addressed in the report. They have not been addressed. And to that extent, Mr. Speaker, I urge this House that we will have, even if we are approving it, we should approve it subject to the remedies or ratification of such issues. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, I got up to really agree with a few things that my colleague raised, particularly that I want to seek for amendment. I want to amend the report. I want to amend the report. That's my report, and I want to amend it.
Honorable, I don't go hold it. Honorable Habib, what is the issue?
Mr. Speaker, my colleague, Honorable Adongo, I remember when we mentioned the debate, then you came to leadership. Then we yielded to him. So now it's the turn of the majority leadership. If they are yielding to him...
But did you listen to his submission?
Mr. Speaker, I listened.
He is pointing out some errors. That is why the chairman of the committee have given him the floor.
Mr. Speaker, our rules in Standing Order 122, give us a clear direction as to how to interrupt debate.
Honorable Habib, Honorable Adongo is not interrupting debates.
Mr. Speaker, he
is not interrupting debates.
For us to allow him to
I'm saying that he is not interrupting debates. Order 122 applies when the member is on his feet to interrupt debates.
Yes.
But in this case, he is not interrupting debates. So Standing Order 122 does not apply.
Mr. Speaker, so in this case, it's the turn of the majority to conclude.
Yes.
So on what basis is he under his feet?
Honorable Habib, I am the one presiding. I have given him the floor in view of the fact that when you yielded to Honorable Dr. Kabiru, he pointed at one or two things which has to be corrected per the report. And it is the chairman that has the right to do those corrections. So if the chairman is up, it is not out of order.
Mr. Speaker, if he also make mistake, I think you will give us the opportunity to also correct him.
Then why did he say he's drawing the chairman's attention for correction? That's why I'm asking whether you listen to Honorable Dr. Kabiru very well.
Mr. Speaker, I am not on my feet to debate. I listened to my colleague make reference to very important issue, which inadvertently appeared on the face of the report. And I just want to amend that portion of the report. That the current replenishment cycle that we are drawing this money from is either 21, which is exactly what he referred to. So I'm just amending the report. I'm not debating him. But also to indicate that if you take your time to read the project appraisal document that comes with this loan agreement, the project appraisal document addresses most of the issues that he's talking about. The issues about what constitutes contingency is addressed in the project appraisal document. So if my colleague wants to know what is being defined as contingency, you will find it from there. But we have a history of Garrett when 65 million of contingency in the agreement was varied to support COVID-19. It was not stated in the face of the agreement. It was not stated on the face of the agreement.
Honorable Adongo,
but
just
those are the
conclude.
issues.
Don't talk to him. Talk to
Some people don't want to hear Garrett. But Garrett, you took $65 million
Honorable Adongo, conclude.
So what is your problem?
Yes, Honorable Kwame Aguja.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank colleagues for the contribution. We take their comments in good faith. Dr. Boako, we didn't have this facility, but we are still working in your constituency. So it's not the case that this is the only project or this is the only intervention we are doing. So Dr. Boako, we are still working. There's a project going on in your constituency, and at the same time, it's not going on in some other people's constituency. So let's take that on board. Mr. Speaker, earlier, the Deputy Finance Minister did make a comment about how we utilize the development funds. Mr. Speaker, we must be proud of ourselves in this house that since I entered this house, this will be the first time that we take a loan and we actually use 98% of the money for things that the label we put on it. Mr. Speaker, in the past, we actually borrow money for agriculture and not even a grass is planted by the time we draw down that money. Mr. Speaker, the first time I had an interaction with the World Bank on this loan, they said the loan was for 400 million, and there were visits to other countries, and there were provisions that the the feasibility, Jerry, if you allow me to speak. Mr. Speaker, colleagues it is okay to harass, but if you listen to me, your constituents will understand that you are about to take a decision that benefits them. Mr. Speaker, the World Bank was planning that a chunk of the money will be used for consultancy by consultants outside of our country. I told them Ghana is no longer interested in borrowing money and give to citizens of other countries to do feasibility on feeder roads in this country. I don't see the point of a consultant from another country coming to do feasibility on feeder roads. They said it's not part of their rule, and I said, thank you very much. Ghana can live without $400 million, and I closed the meeting. 2 weeks' time, they came back and increased the money to $500 million and said that they will allow us to do exactly what I said. And I said, no trip to New York, no V8, nothing like that. And that is how we achieved the 98% of this. And it is simply because I have come to realize that the accusation of World Bank that they come and impose things on us, actually we are the cause of why they give us those conditions. Yes. I just told them we don't need a $400 million. Ghana can live without it. And they changed their rules. Maybe somebody else would have just said that, okay, if that's what you want to do, we are interested. Because in this house in 2013, when I got to this house, we have all borrowed money and did nothing with it. So it is true that we borrowed money and spent 40% of the money doing other things before. But under President Mahama's reset, this will be the first time that we borrow money for road and 98% of the money will be spent on road. And we must be proud of this as a house. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker also made a very important point that we must take on board. Mr. Speaker, it is heartbreaking if we consider how much money we spent for the past 20 years on roads, and yet you cannot drive on any 20 kilometers of this road on this country without meeting a pothole. So what were we borrowing the money or taking taxpayers' money for on roads in our country? What were we doing with the money? And it's a combination of the neglect of ourselves, the engineers and contractors. That is why there must be a new reset where all of us must pay attention. That is why what Honorable Speaker is saying is very important. Supervision of the works to make sure that the contractors who take these monies carry out the work to the letter. And we will not relent in making sure that we are on their tail day and night to make sure when you take public money to build road, you only don't build road, you build road that lasts the time that you said the road will last. Mr. Speaker, I met a contractor today, and I said that you say you've been building roads for the past 20 years, but I am not aware of any road that you have built that has lasted for 5 years without a pothole on it. He was looking at my face. And from now, when you build road as a contractor, and it fails less than that, you cannot blame it on the weather alone, because the weather was around before we did the design and gave it to you. So, Mr. Speaker, we are going to follow up on that. Mr. Speaker, colleagues also made a point about the distribution of the project. Mr. Speaker, when we met the World Bank, they wanted to do this project in only 4 regions. The data for this project did not come from Ministry of Road. The data for the road were provided by Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So it is not a case that we went selecting which regions to do project or not. It was supposed to be the President's 5,000 kilometer promise. This is just 1,050 kilometers out of the 5,000. So others will come. And Mr. Speaker, don't forget that we are doing many other interventions. Honorable Speaker, we talked about Ashanti region. Of course, on record, 50-60% of Ghana's road budget is spent on Greater Accra, Ashanti and the Eastern region. That is a fact. In fact, when I became a minister, when I went to OT region, not a single contractor was doing any road work in OT region. So we are here for equity, and we agree. Mr. Speaker, I just realized that nobody even noticed that Adaklu didn't feature as a constituency or district on this, because we want to do the right thing. So you cannot smuggle Adaklu in if the data didn't support the fact that Adaklu must be part of this. So Adaklu is not part of it. So if your district, your constituency is not part of it, don't worry. I have hope one day Adaklu will feature. Yours will also feature. It's as simple as that. Mr. Speaker, the last one I want to talk about is how we, as members of parliament, monitor this. I want to take the opportunity to commend some colleagues who have made it a point to make sure that every road work going on in their backyard, they are always visiting, working with the contractors to make sure we do a good job. And I even want to thank even ordinary members of the society who this evening will send me videos of how many workers turned up on a particular construction site because they don't trust the contractor intend to do the work. So they will send me videos and say, Honorable, omun mienu pe neba juma ha enra. Omun here and then juma to it. As for this contractor, didn't come to work today. And I'm very happy about that level of enthusiasm. And I want to encourage colleague members of parliament to do same. It is your road, it is our road. Don't just leave the contractors. The contractors don't intend to do the wrong thing. But just as the same, when you have kids in the house, they know that our father never comes home on time. When you give them assignment and say they should study at 7 o'clock, they won't because they know nobody is monitoring. The contractors needed to be treated the same way because they take a chunk. Majority of government capital expenditure is spent on roads. So when we are very aggressive, we just want to have justification why we receive that money at the Ministry of Road. We cannot take the highest amount of capital expenditure and just distribute it to contractors and go and sleep. So please, don't think that we are bearing on contractors. We just want to protect your money. How do we justify that today we pay 16 billion cedis to contractors in terms of arrears? When you go around the country, did you see 16 billion cedis worth of work done anywhere? In your constituency, did you see 16 billion? So it is our responsibility to make sure that the right thing is done. So, Mr. Speaker, I take the challenge that this money, when it's disbursed to contractors, if you are a contractor who sees this as business, just business, please don't turn up because you will not have it easy. If you participate in this, you will build roads, and this road must last the period within which we are expecting it to last. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask all colleagues, big push is about all of us. Every road project, even pothole patching, is about us. Let's ensure that we protect the public purse. And on this, as the President directs, we are going to make sure that when you get the opportunity to build this road, you build the best road, and you build roads that last, and nobody is going to waste public money on this. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank colleagues, and every comment made here, I take them serious, and we make sure that we work together to make sure our roads get better in our lifetime. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. All members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. All members, the ayes have it, the motion is adopted. Now, consequential resolution number 9. Honorable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, sorry. With your kind indulgence, he will, on behalf of the Minister for Finance, the Deputy Minister. Yeah.
Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any problem with that.
Very well, Deputy Minister, you may move the consequential resolution number 9.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that resolution number 9 on today's order paper addendum 2 on page 6 be taken now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
All members, resolution ably moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All members, resolution moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. All members, this is the resolution. I'll therefore put a question. As many as are in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The resolution numbered 9 at page 6 of the order paper addendum 2 is accordingly adopted. Yes, Majority Leader.
We are left with one item number 5.
Well, must we take item number 4 before 5?
Yeah, 4 procedural and then 5.
Procedural motion numbered 4. Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the motion numbered 4 on today's order paper addendum 2 be moved now.
All members, the procedural motion moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I write to second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. This is a procedural motion. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Now we move to consequential motion number 5. Chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee. Motion number 5.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that motion number 5 on today's order paper addendum be moved now. And in so doing, Mr. Speaker, I will read the committee's report. I'll just go to a few issues and request that Hansard should capture the entire report. Mr. Speaker, the credit facility agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the International Development Association of the World Bank Group, for an amount of $22 million United States dollars to finance the harmonization and improving statistics in West Africa project. Additional financing was presented to the House on the 16th of July 2026, and in accordance with Article 1812. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee, having considered the report and met with the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Statistical Service, hereby recommend to this House by consensus to adopt the report of the committee and approve the loan agreement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion move report presented. Any seconder? Yes, Honourable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion. And in doing so, Mr. Speaker, again, I would want the chairman to take, again, note of some mistakes or errors on the face of the report. And those errors has to do with the repayment period of the facility. If the chairman would take notice of that, we're expecting to repay this particular facility in 25 years. But when you do the tallying again of the grace period plus the repayment period as was specified, we are falling short of the 25 year. We are looking at around 18 years of repayment. So we need to reconcile that. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that we have is the fact that it is so staggering and scary that you would think that the Ghana Statistical Service is going to be given an amount of 22 million Ghana cedi for data production. Mr. Speaker, $22 million. And if we approve this particular amount, that's I was saying, it brings our total borrowing just for today towards $1 billion United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, the difficulty I don't have with this particular proposal to the GSS is the fact that we are talking about data sovereignty, we are talking about data accuracy, we are talking about the importance of data being the new good. That is the reason why I personally don't have issues with the fact that we are trying to resource. We are trying to give the Ghana Statistical Service the capacity in order to do data harmonization within West Africa and within Africa. But you look at the amount involved, one would have thought that the Ghana Statistical Service would have been... Mr. Speaker, and there's one other thing that they say that it is concessional. Mr. Speaker, the truth is that the loan is not concessional because a concessional loan has a grant component. Nowhere in this particular agreement have they provided grants. They are all commercial agreements. It's just that interest rates are lower, and we must admit that once interest is lower, somehow it's better than borrowing from the commercial market. But the fact that the loan has not got grant element, and you are describing it in your report as highly concessional, with the greatest respect, Mr. Speaker, that is a misnomer. that cannot be an accurate description of what the loan is. And I think that we need to put that on record that this is a low-interest credit facility. It is not highly concessional credit facility, and that we have an obligation to pay this loan. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the House to, consider approving this particular facility, but we will need to be guided by the precondition precedents and also, some of the conditionalities associated with that facility, which we have discussed at the committee level. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Before then, I'll ask the chairman whether he agreed and there is something to be corrected on the report.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to indicate that this is an additional financing. There was an original $150 million that was advanced for this project in 2020. But they have a few other activities to complete the entire project. And that additional activities is what we are taking the 22 million for. So it is not that we are giving, in one breath we are saying that we are borrowing too much, in another breath we are saying that we are not borrowing so much for Ghana's customers. But I just want to say that we have already given them 150 million, and this is an additional finance, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Honorable Stephen Amo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise up to speak in favor of or to support this loan facility or report. In that, Mr. Speaker, and I'm one of the advocates for the ineffective way our data system has been managed over the years as a country. Many a time, most of our policies and programs, especially our manifestos and even government policies they implement, in my opinion, lack the needed basic, well-researched data with integrity and correctness to support it and give it the needed longevity, success, and resilience. And because we do these things, most of our policies as a country, they don't last. They are not successful. So if we are making an attempt as a country to look into those areas where or in which we are giving extra attention to strengthening our database system and also extend that into getting the expected integration within the sub-region, I'm sure it's something that all of us must support. Mr. Speaker, but then we need to ask ourselves, how do we as a country make good use of the data we are talking about? We just met Statistical Service recently, and I realized that even they themselves, they are not doing that bad. However, you realize that most of our targets we set, economic targets we set, and most of the policy frameworks we develop and our programs, honestly, you go into it and you realize that they were done basically on ad hoc basis. You can find a lot of arbitrariness in developing those processes and our decision-making processes. And so as much as we are committing this amount to it, hopefully to change a lot of things and bring a new paradigm shift, I'm just admonishing that government should make sure that this amount will provide the needed resource we want as a country. We don't want a situation where one day we come back to it and, Mr. Speaker, we don't derive the expected results. Mr. Speaker, sitting down, I would like to also really admonish them I mean those who are in charge, to make sure that for them to include the countries around us, the West African region, we should be able to, in terms of sub-regional analysis, this whole amount or facility can be implemented in such a way that we can deduce its component within the regional performance framework. Mr. Speaker, apart from this, I don't have much to say, but to say that yes, it's a good thing that I accorded the needed support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, probably let me take the minority leadership first. Yes, then I can hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, let me this thing, then you conclude. Very well.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank honorable members and to say that, as has been explained earlier, this facility is to supplement and conclude the program that the Ghana Statistical Service started implementing since 2020. And the whole resource envelope was $370 million for the whole of West Africa for the harmonization of statistics. Ghana got a chunk of it, $150 million out of the total $370 million. And that was dedicated to the Ghana Statistical Service to implement a number of programs. And Mr. Speaker, the report we received from the Ghana Statistical Service indicates that during the program implementation period, because of the massive depreciation of the cedi and the high inflation rate that we experienced in this country, they could not meet the full objectives of the program. And so it has become necessary for us to extend the expiration of the program to the end of 2026 and assess this additional funding so that they will be able to conclude the program effectively. Mr. Speaker, a lot has been said about the importance of data. We all know that the importance of, the quality of data in decision making is very, very important. Without data, we'll be taking decisions as a government that will not target the kind of interventions that we want to achieve. And so it is important that we support the Ghana Statistical Service to make them strong. And as has been explained, part of this amount will be used for the rebasing of our CPI and GDP so that we will have current data upon which we make informed decisions. Mr. Speaker, if you look at this facility, the interest rate is very, very, very low. The all-in cost is under 1% for the $2.9 million loan, and then about 2% for the $19 million component. And so it is a very good facility, and I want to urge all of us to support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. We then move to consequential resolution number 6 at page 4 of the order paper addendum 2. Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, Deputy Minister for Finance will take the
Yes,
resolution.
Honorable Habib.
We don't have any problem with that.
Very well. Deputy Minister for Finance, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I rise again to move that resolution number 6 on today's order paper, addendum 2 on page 4, be taken now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Resolution ably moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, second.
Resolution moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. This being a resolution, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. All members, the ayes have it. The resolution numbered 6 at page 4 of the order paper addendum 2 is accordingly adopted.